All right, what is up, everyone? This is Peyton Anderson back with Next Level Athletes. Today, I am joined by Matt Childs, Brown University running back. Matt, it's great to have you on today, and thanks for taking the time.
Well, yeah, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Before your recruitment, let's begin by revisiting your high school days. On the field, you received numerous accolades, such as being named three times to the Herald All Scholastic and one time All NEP SAC selection while rushing for exactly 5,700 yards or 59 touchdowns. Speaking on the football side of high school, what were some of your favorite moments on the field?
Um, I think there's a lot of moments to think about because I did 5 years of high school, three at
Hmm.
Medway, two at Milton. But from Medway, I'd say probably my favorite memory, even though I got hurt, was probably our Medway versus Millis game,
Hmm.
my junior year. But it was the last game I played with my like hometown friends, so that sticks out to me. And then for Milton, honestly, the first game I ever played at Milton, I was nervous. I didn't know how the play like the playing would be, how I would play, how the competition would be. So I played pretty good, and I was just kept going one step after the other and kept going forward.
Hmm. Looking back on it, what did you learn most about football in your time at those two places?
Nothing's guaranteed. I mean, when you're at Medway, I got told that I was going to be a D3 football player at best, and
Hmm.
then at Milton, it was um, just your time will come. So I mean, you never know what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, but you just got to take advantage of it when it does happen.
Of course. Shifting off the field into the classroom, what would you say was your favorite class, least favorite, and most interesting class?
I'd say most favorite was psychology with Dr. Selter at Milton when I was a junior. That actually pushed me into being a psych major at Brown.
Okay.
And yeah, it's kind of, I can kind of say that he's the reason why I like doing psychology. Least favorite, never been a math guy, never have
Okay.
been, never will be. So any math class, you can say that's my least favorite. So yeah.
Nice. Heading into your recruitment process out of high school, what stood out to you most at the time? And what were conversations with some of those coaches like? Was there anything that surprised you? Anything that you were kind of not expecting? How did that go for you?
Recruitment in high school was slow, I would say. Um, Never really got the looks that I thought I deserved, but at the same time, I mean, I'm at a great place. I love Brown, love everything about Brown. So I mean, I wouldn't take anywhere else. And stuff that surprised me was more. Do you hear that?
A little
I can
bit.
hear my roommates are screaming. I'm sorry. I'm sorry
Oh,
about that.
no, you're good.
Yeah, that's my bad. Um, but no, I would say for recruitment, something that's kind of like surprised me was more of a how I would get kind of like toyed with in a way. Like you know how like
Hmm.
coaches will be like,
They kind of say something and then
yeah,
one
and then they
thing, and
go, yeah, one thing leads to another, and then you're like, oh, we're gonna offer you besides me to see one more thing, and
then.
then it's five things after another. But at the end of the day, I mean, that's just recruiting. So
Hmm. Ultimately, what about Brown University influenced you most to sign with them?
I would say the coaching staff. The coaching staff has changed a lot since I've been here, but the two things that haven't have been the head coach and my position coach.
Hmm.
And I'm grateful for that. Love Coach Edwards, love Coach Perry. Without them, I don't know if I'd be playing Division One football. So I think all credit is pointed towards them.
Looking at that first year in the program in the 2024-25 season, Brown won 3-7 overall with a conference record of 2-5. Looking at your season individually, you were selected as the Ivy League Rookie of the Year, led all Ivy League rookies in rushing and receiving yards. Um, carrying the ball 91 times for 361 yards, as well as catching 29 passes for 384 yards. How would you describe the freshman season you had? What was most memorable, but also what you say you learned most about yourself in that year?
I think freshman year was I was happy with it. Like, I mean, obviously it can always be better. for my
Hmm.
standards, I always want to be the best player at my position in the Ivy League. I want to be the best leader on the team. So I think freshman year was a learning curve. I think I had two good seniors ahead of me that I could learn from, so I'm happy for them. And then I would say um, probably the thing I learned most about myself was that each week in practice, you have to take it as like you might not play. So like every rep in practice, you have to go 100%.
Hmm.
Every meeting, you have to be 100% locked in. And there's no slacking off. I mean, everyone at the school was the best player on their high school team. So it's
Hmm.
not like you can take those days off.
Yeah. Off the field, did you have any difficulties adjusting to the collegiate lifestyle, or did it kind of come naturally for you?
I mean, I had Milton. Milton, I boarded there, so I lived 2 years in Milton without my
Okay.
parents like waking me up for school, telling me to
Hmm.
do my homework, all that stuff. So it was easy for me to adapt to it just because I had 2 years prior to it.
Awesome. Heading into your 25-26 sophomore season, Brown went 5-5 overall with a conference record of 2-5. Looking at you individually, your first team Phil Steele, preseason All Ivy selection, second team All Ivy League selection, first team Phil Steele All Ivy selection and All Purpose, and a second team Phil Steele All Ivy honoree as a running back. First off, what about your skill set evolved the most from year one to year two?
Um, it's a loaded question.
Yeah.
I would say probably mental focus because I feel like freshman year I was easy to get like you're eager to make a big play, eager to spark something. Just I think each play's a grind, and if you trust it, things will go the correct way that you want it to. So I think that was something that kind of changed from freshman to sophomore year.
Hmm. Looking into that coaching staff at Brown, you previously mentioned you're led by James Perry, who's been the head man of the program since December 4th, 2018. With James's play style in the past at Princeton being a no huddle, up tempo style offense, you saw yourself as a program this past season averaging about 70 plays a game, which was second most in the Ivy League, only to Cornell, who averaged about 72 plays a game. With an up-tempo style of offense as well as being a running and receiving minded running back, how do you say you performed in this style of offense? How do you feel like you fit into this kind of style of up-tempo offense?
I think the up-tempo offense has its pluses for me. I feel like being a running back that can block, catch, run, obviously, it opens you up for a lot of different ways to be used. And I think the way Coach Perry uses his fast tempoed offense, quick subs, it gives
Hmm.
you a chance to, when you're in the game, you can make plays. And I think that's what he has always had his offensive philosophy based upon wherever he's been.
In addition to that, what does it take to run an efficient offense over the course of a season?
I mean, it takes a lot. Everyone has to be bought in. You can't, if one person's not doing their job or not pulling their weight, that side's going to tip. So everyone has to be pulling their weight, doing what the coaches want them to do, the coaches need them to do. And at the end of the day, it's a team game. You can't win it 1-on-11. Like I
Hmm.
mean, you want to, but you
Yeah.
can't win it 1-on-11. You need all 11 people to do their job to win.
Hmm. I'm looking more into that running back depth department and coaching staff. You also have Willie Edwards and Eddie Morrissey leading the running back room. How have they made an impact on your development thus far, but also what you've been emphasizing in particular about your skill set this offseason heading into this upcoming year?
I think Coach Morrissey and Coach Edwards have installed great game plans when it comes to the run, like the rushing offense and how we use our running backs, what schemes we have when it comes to running the ball. And I think um, everyone trusts them and knows that they have the best intentions for how to use each player correctly when it comes to
Hmm.
running the ball. And then I think for this upcoming year, I want to show a new gear. I was nicked up a little bit during
Hmm.
the season, so I want to be able to show that I'm durable and that I have that extra burst and gear that people haven't seen just yet.
Absolutely. With the presence in the world of NIL, the way programs determine their rosters and the transfer portal have significantly increased in volume, let alone the stress of managing it all. What are your overall thoughts about the NIL world? Is there anything you'd change about it, anything you'd add? But also kind of how you stay grounded when everything online can appear to be like everyone's posting their highlights, they got the followers, the money. How do you stay grounded and kind of focused on the long term? Goals with how prevalent it is around you.
I think first of all, I think the NIL, the new rules that are being in place, I think the 5 for 5 that just got passed yesterday is a
Hmm.
huge rule. So it stops people that are 27 years old playing 15 years in college.
Yeah.
I think that's the main thing. It's just people will roll their ankle and then stay out for 15 weeks so they get a
Hmm.
redshirt year. And I
Hmm.
think at the end of the day, you're in college for 5 years, and that's as long as you get to play a sport. I think that's fair. I think
Yeah.
that's the best way to go about it. For the NIL standpoint, I mean, if you have the money, spend it.
Hmm.
I'm not against NIL. I think NIL is it's a necessity because at the end of the day, the colleges are making money off the players,
Hmm.
so
So
they
it only
have
makes
to.
sense that.
Yeah, it only makes sense to pay the players.
Hmm.
Um, I wouldn't really change anything about it. I would more say that me and my strength coach were actually talking about it today.
Hmm.
That each conference should give a cap space to each team. So like every
Hmm.
team gets the same cap space. So you
Hmm.
can't have Miami who's spending $30 million just on their offense,
Yeah.
and then you have teams
Like Troy or something that can't like.
you have teams like the bottom to the EC, for instance,
Hmm.
who was bottom of the ACC last year, probably spent 5 million on their offense or their whole
Hmm.
team. So you know what I mean? I think you have to balance it. You can't have teams that have $45 million to spend. You can't have teams that have $2 million to spend. Because at the
Hmm.
end of the day, it ruins the whole aspect of the underdogs. You're never gonna have underdogs.
Well, it
People are
kind
just
of,
gonna leave and go to the higher money.
yeah, it's harder for walk-ons and stuff too. So
Yeah,
and
exactly.
in-state recruiting too. I feel like that in-state recruiting is kind of like dying, especially like you know.
Yeah, it's got ruined. It's got ruined.
Yeah. Um, But for younger generations coming up, what advice or thoughts would you have to share with them as they make a jump from high school to collegiate athletics? With everything programs had to offer, while also meeting the expectations placed on them daily, not just on the field, but also, off the field.
I think a great way to look about it is that not everything is guaranteed. In high school, you're guaranteed to play. I mean, everyone will step on the field at least at some point in high school. I think in college, it's more of a you get what you're given, or
Hmm.
I think that's the right saying. I don't know what the saying is, but it's pretty much like whatever work you put in is what you're going to get out of it,
Yeah,
and you
your
can't
input is what your output's going to be.
yeah, you can't expect to get something if you don't work for it.
Hmm.
So like if you are expecting that as a freshman you're coming and play, if you don't work for it, it's not going to happen.
Hmm.
So I think it's you get what you're given.
Exactly. Next, our segment is a little this or that opinionated questions. First one, we got Derrick Henry or Christian McCaffrey.
Christian McCaffrey. That's an easy
Um,
one. Christian McCaffrey.
Most overrated and underrated food.
Ooh. Uh I'd say overrated. What food do I not like? I don't really like I'm not a big fish. I'm not a big fish guy. I think fish
Okay.
is overrated. Like salmon. I think salmon is a sushi. That's my answer. Raw
Okay.
fish, sushi, overrated.
Hmm.
Underrated, I would say, ooh, honestly, kale. Kale's
Okay.
a pretty good superfood. It's a superfood.
Nice. Would you rather spend money on experiences or possessions?
Experiences because you can't recreate them.
Absolutely. If Brown football had a reality show, who would be the star?
my ego wants me to say myself, but I I would say honestly, there's this character on our team, Nate
Mhm.
Kunikis. He's in my grade. I'm actually
Okay.
gonna live with him this year.
Okay.
I feel like he would be a very big standout.
Nice. Um, Biggest irrational fear.
Ooh,
For me, it's like the ocean, man. I don't like seeing fish in there. I don't care what side of the fish it is, man. I can't deal with I'll still go in it, but am I swimming in there or going really deep? No.
see, I can agree with that. I would say my most irrational fear would probably be honestly this is like really weird, but
Hmm.
I can't fall asleep breathing through my nose. I
Hmm.
feel like I think I'm gonna
Oh,
suffocate.
you just okay.
Like
Just
my brain tricks me into thinking that I won't be able to breathe.
yeah,
So
you
I
just stop. Okay.
yeah, so
Interesting.
I don't do that.
Got it. Would you rather be known for your intelligence or your character?
Character. I think I'm already known for my character. Intelligence isn't. I mean, I'm a bro. I'm not that dumb, but I
Hmm.
mean, I think my character shines a little bit brighter.
Yeah. What's one thing you'd ban forever? This could be a trend, anything.
Oh God, that's
Yeah.
one thing I would ban forever. I would say, ooh, what would you say? Give me a little.
Well, I feel like whenever like you see trends and people like I know it's not happening anymore, but there's like this trend where people would like go into like grocery stores and they open like ice cream and then they lick it and then they put it right back. I mean that trend kind of ended, but like I feel like dumb trends like that can just be banned forever. I don't need to see anybody doing that. I don't need them to make any money of
Yeah, that's
being
kind of
that
gross.
dumb. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
that's kind
gross.
of what I would
I would ban. Oh God, I don't even know. I don't even
go.
have a
That's
good
fine.
answer to this. Honestly, I'm probably gonna think of one like
Yeah.
later in this thing, and I'm just gonna say it randomly.
Nice.
I'm just gonna
Well,
say it
we'll
randomly.
we'll be waiting. What's one thing you'd bring back? Is there anything you'd bring back? I had to think about that one too. I'm not sure what's gone that could be
Like
brought back.
anything in the world.
Yeah, it can be anything, anything you'd want.
Uh, I think the sentimental answer would be my grandparents, but then the
Mm-hmm.
real answer, like that's logical, you
Mm-hmm.
could say, would be uh the old. Oh, I don't even have the cleats with me. I have a huge cleat collection,
Okay.
but there's this one pair of old cleats. They're like they're Nike Vapors. They're the first ever Nike Vapors that come
Okay.
out, and they don't
They don't
come
sell
out
them
with them
anymore.
anymore. So
Oh,
yeah, I would
okay.
say those. Those would be my things, the Nike Vapors.
Nice. Let's see. Oh, if you could have dinner with any three people in history, who would they be?
Oh, I would say, oh, this is a. I'd say I think I have to go with Christian McCaffrey.
Okay.
I think I'd I think I'd have to also. Oh, I think I'd have to go with like someone like Snoop Dogg. I think I've seen a lot
Okay.
of interviews with him, and
Mm-hmm.
he's just a character.
Yeah.
Um, and then I think someone like Kevin Hart too. I
Okay.
think that'd be a weird three, but I'd like to have dinner with them.
Nice. I mean, then that would be a very interesting combo with
I
Christian
think that's
there, and then
yeah. Christian, Snoop Dogg, and Kevin.
how much Snoop Dogg smokes and how funny Kevin Hart is, man. Like,
That'd probably be the whole conversation.
yeah. Would you rather do you rather choose a window seat or an aisle seat?
Window. I live and die by that. Window seats are 10 times better than aisles.
I always like the aisle seat. I'm like 5'10", but I like to think I'm always like taller, so I like just sticking my leg out. I mean, I could go for either, but I just like having that room. I just
I
feels
like
like
a
I have
window
more room
because yeah, you're not wrong. You do have more room to
to
operate,
operate.
but when I kind of like to. kick my legs out, and so I always get
Mm,
my left or right foot, whichever side of the plane I'm on, ran
hmm.
over by the cart. So I
Oh,
start to like the window where I can just
there you
lean on
go.
it and then fall asleep.
You're not nicked up during the season.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. What conspiracy theory is the most believable?
The moon landing was fake.
Okay.
I don't know
Nice.
why. That's the only one I can think of off the top of the head.
Yeah. Nice. And then last one before we move on, would you rather have a game-winning breakaway touchdown or a game-winning goal line touchdown?
Breakaway. I think that's like a what pops into my head is Jahmyr Gibbs this year against the Giants, the
Hmm.
78-yard touchdown where he didn't even get touched.
Nice.
That's
Help my
awesome.
fantasy team out. So.
Yeah, he was on my fantasy team too.
Yeah,
So
nice. Yeah. Um, Leading into our next segment, shifting the conversation away from football. You already mentioned this earlier. You're I think a psych major. Kind of talk more about how you got into that, but also what you plan to use it towards in life.
well, I mean, what really got me into that was that high school class with
Hmm.
Dr. Selter. That was the main thing that pushed it for me was being able to hear his experiences in the real world with his patients. And he obviously didn't like say their names or anything. So
Hmm.
like he wasn't disclosing anything that he shouldn't. But
Yeah.
I think hearing about how every aspect of life can affect someone's day-to-day stuff that they do, I think
Yeah.
really intrigued me. And then understanding how the brain functions is pretty sick. So
Hmm.
it's not too in depth with uh like the nursing side of it, like how
Hmm.
neuroscience, but you still understand a little bit of it. And then I would probably stay around sports, maybe a sports psychologist,
Okay.
be able to talk to athletes like they go through a harsher day to day than most people do with
Hmm.
school, sports, family, all the certain things besides it's toppled on top of each other and it can almost stack and make you not act like yourself. So I think that something along the lines of helping athletes, whether it's college, professional, or high school, with that.
Nice. Well, I teach special ed in elementary, so if there's anything you ever see, I might reach out, man. It's sometimes it can help, man.
I
Um,
know, I know.
yeah. Um, when people think about Brown football, they see what happens on Saturdays. What does being a Brown Bear really mean behind the scenes? And what does the program encourage players to pursue outside of athletics?
I think behind the scenes, no one sees the amount of community work we do.
Hmm.
I think obviously every team does community work, but Coach Perry has been the only coach that I've ever seen in person really push every player to always do community service, whether
Hmm.
it's with the local elementary schools, whether it's with the bone marrow drive, bench press for cancer, any of this stuff. Like we do a lot of uh, community service engagement, and I think that's mainly pushed by Coach Perry, and I love it. I think it's a good
Hmm.
way to give back to the community because we are blessed. We're blessed to play college sports. Not everyone can play college sports, so I think whenever you can put something better forward, you always should do it. And
Hmm.
then I would say, what was the second part to that? I kind of rambled.
Um, Kind of what the program encourages players to pursue outside of athletics.
I think, well, going back on that stuff, that we have a great line of alumni, and I think they always are trying to tell us to, well, not trying to tell us, but they are
Hmm.
telling us to pursue different types of career engagements, whether it's reaching out to somebody that's in finance, that's in like government. Like anyone can you can reach out to anything and try to figure out what works for you because we whether you believe it or not, there's a person
Hmm.
in every state that works in any type of job. So if you're in Maine, there's probably someone that knows somebody that works in finance for like JP Morgan in Maine.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. Speaking more about that community and general public around Providence, Rhode Island, what would you say has been your favorite team activity or event and why?
oh that's a tough one. I think For me, it's probably the bench press for cancer because I lost both my grandparents to cancer. It
Mm.
touches me in a certain way that most people wouldn't understand it because it just hits closer to home.
Yeah.
But I like seeing how something that is the worst thing in life, I would say, is cancer. And it sees how you can get so many people together and try to raise money for awareness for it. So I think that's something that definitely sticks out to me.
Absolutely. Um, in addition to that, what kind of impact does engaging with the community in various activities help a program bond together and kind of, be able to give back to others around you that support you guys so much?
Well, I think it definitely helps us grow more as a team because if you just see someone on a football side, you're not gonna really understand them as a person. So being able to go out in public with any person on the team, whether you've talked to them, whether you haven't talked to them, whether you're best friend or whether you're not friends, I think that always helps the team bond. And when you give back to the community in that certain way, it builds the community up with you. Like we used to have a different chant when the football team would win, and Coach
Hmm.
Perry changed it back to Browns like the ever true song. So like
Yeah.
every time after game we win, it's we're singing the school song, not a football dedicated song. So I think we're just trying to focus on engaging everyone.
Hmm. When talking about championship level teams, they often focus heavily on being player led. In your opinion, what are the keys to building a locker room where everyone buys into the same vision?
No one's above anybody on the team, whether you're the best player on the team or whether you're the worst player on the team. Everyone goes by the same rules. No one is greater or lesser than the rules. So I think that's a big way to start. It's you can't the best player on the team can't act like he's the man. Like you can't
Yeah.
walk around school being like, I can do whatever I want. I can do this, I can
Hmm.
do that. Everyone has to do the same thing. Everyone's part matters just as much as the person next to them.
So everyone's held essentially the same standard as
Oh,
anyone
yeah,
else.
no one's above the law.
Hmm. Exactly. Next, take us through a home game at Brown Stadium from a player's perspective. What makes that experience special and unique compared to any other program?
Um, I think for us, it's well, you wake up, you go through your routine, you're in the locker room, and you get to go outside and into the stadium, and you're surrounded by people that care. I mean, there's people that like every game there'll be school buses of kids that are
Hmm.
from either underprivileged areas, overprivileged areas. Like there's every kid is coming to watch us play. I'm sure there's a lot of schools that do that stuff too when it comes
Hmm.
to Princeton, Yale, Harvard, Dartmouth, all that stuff. But the community in Providence is so much greater because we're such a smaller state. Like Providence is such
Hmm.
a small city compared to Boston, like all these other areas where you know everyone, you know all the schools, and I think you're really playing for more than just yourself. You're playing for the community.
Hmm. Additionally, as fans and alumni look ahead to this season, what kind of team can they expect to see when the Bears take the field, along with what they're doing behind the scenes?
I think they can expect to see a different team than last year. This team, I've been around a lot of good and bad teams, but there's nothing that's gonna have people ready for what I think we're gonna bring this year. The biggest
Hmm.
competition in the Ivy League for us is ourselves. We beat ourselves, we lose to ourselves, and we're gonna win with ourselves. So I think that's what people should be ready for.
Absolutely. In life, every athlete faces highs and lows, both on and off the field. Who or what has been your biggest source of guidance through those moments, and what lessons kind of have helped you stay grounded along the way?
I think for me, this is pretty easy answer.
Hmm.
Love your mom, but my dad is the person that I go to when there's any type of stuff I'm going through mentally, physically. The first person I talk to is my dad. I think he kind of taught me everything about football, everything when it comes to how I should play, how I should run, how I should catch, how I should act. So when something goes wrong, I'm definitely going to my dad. When something goes good, I'm definitely going to my dad. So I
Hmm.
think him being by my side this whole time has helped me a lot through high school and college so far.
Absolutely. In addition to this, if you had the chance right now to speak directly to your family, friends, coaches, anyone who's been a part of your journey, what would you share with them?
Not over. I mean,
Yeah.
I say this all the time. I'm not coming to college football to just play 4 years. My plan is to play in the NFL. I know that
Hmm.
sounds facetious. It's like I have the biggest ego ever, but if you go to play football in college, if you're not going to try and be the best at what you do, why are you doing it?
Hmm.
That's how I've always lived that way. If you're going to do something, do it. So I'm going
Yeah.
to try my best to keep this thing going. And I would say, ride's not over. Buckle up.
Yeah. Awesome. You talked about your journey, your family, your teammates, and your experiences at Brown. As you continue chasing your goals, what do you hope your lasting legacy will be, and how do you want people to remember you, both on the field, and off, beyond the game of football?
I think at Brown, I want to be known as one of the greats. I think you come in here, you have certain expectations for yourself. And I think right away, I exceeded everyone's expectations around me. I was a little running back coming in, and I think
Hmm.
when I did the stuff I did, people got excited, obviously. But I want to leave a lasting legacy that I came in here when times weren't the greatest, and I'm going to leave it in a place where Brown's going to be atop of the Ivy League every year, and I want to be known as one of the best players at the time when I was playing. I know there's greats behind me, greats
Hmm.
in the future, there's greats in the past, all that stuff, but I want to be one of the greats in the present. So that's what I'm working for.
Absolutely. Once again, everyone, Matt Childs, Brown University running back Matt, really appreciate you taking the time today. Had a lot of fun. Wishing you nothing but success going forward. I'll try and keep in touch, keep track of your journey, and thanks again for coming on.
No, thank you for having me. And if you ever want to do another interview, I'm always here.